Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome back to Practical and Healing Applications of A Course in Miracles with me, Anna Kajawa Quinn, and welcome you guys here at the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center. Thanks as always for coming out on a cold night, which it seems to be all the time now. I wonder if it's that winter thing. Whatever it is, it's cold, and I know that it takes a lot to leave your houses sometimes when it's this cold, so thank you guys. I really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to do a 5-minute opening meditation where we're just going to allow our minds to get present and allow our minds to come home to the present moment. That's just been waiting for us to take off our shoes and make us a cup of spirit tea. All right, so just breathe and relax. Put some music on for you. There we go. All right. Hey, Greg, are you connected to that? All right.
Have the what?
Are you connected to that speaker?
I don't think so. Let me check.
Okay.
And you want to plug your phone?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. So helpful. All right. Very good. All right. Well, I thought we were going to start, but...
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay. Let's try this one more time.
You have it turned on?
Yeah. I have it turned on. Okay. Let's try that all one more time, shall we? Strange. Very strange. Well, I guess then we're going to do it without music then. Okay, where were we? We were in the present moment. All right, so just stay present where you are and just breathe. Let go of your day. Let go of everything that might be occupying your conscious mind. Just breathe and let it all go. Let it all go. And tell yourself, I am here right now. And now let's do the Holy Instant practice that A Course in Miracles teaches us, where we say, this holy instant is all there is of time. This is it. All of time is here right now. And I want to be present for it. What's really going on, all the good, all the power, all the love is here right now. And I want to experience that. I want to be present for that. And then we practice giving this present moment, this holy instant, over to our higher loving mind, our divine right mind. So we say, higher mind, this holy instant do I give to you. Be you in charge. For I would follow you, love, certain that your direction, love, does bring me peace. And breathe. And now let us dedicate this healing circle, this time together, to Spirit and to the self we share, that our higher mind might use this time, this healing circle, for the healing good of all of mankind, all of creation, and all the earth. So Spirit, we give you this healing holy time, this healing circle, and we ask that you would use it on behalf of the will we share with you, which is the healing of all of mankind through us right now. And thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to listen to the truth together and to heal together. Thank you for this opportunity that we might join our minds on behalf of the good of all. That we might take our part among the healers of the world. Thank you, Spirit. And be you in charge. And to that we say, amen. All right, when you're ready, take a breath and open your eyes. And this is a way to turn any situation into a holy instant, a holy encounter. There's a way to turn any situation into something that truly benefits all of mankind and all of creation. And it doesn't involve any cash. It just involves a dedication. This holy instant do I give to you, Spirit, be you in charge.
Or an internet connection.
Or an internet connection. Exactly. Do you think that's what it is? The internet? All right.
Access anywhere in the world.
Yes, exactly. It's a global GPS, a God positioning satellite. Absolutely. Global connectivity. I love it. All right, so I'm doing the random number generator, and it's chapter 30. And so who can get to the table of contents the fastest? And tell me how many sections?
Yeah.
In the blue book.
There are 8.
Wow, okay.
What?
That was pretty darn fast. And it's 8. 8, 8. Ooh, I mean, it's 30. It's 30. Chapter 30, section 8. So let's see what that is. Page 642 in the book O Blue. All right. So what's the title of the section?
Changeless reality.
Is it the changeless reality or just changeless reality?
Just changeless.
Okay. Changeless reality. Okay. Changeless reality. Alrighty.
I guess that's
Changeless. Okay, so you guys, we are in the blue book, and we are in chapter 30, section 8, and it is called Changeless Reality. Okay, beautiful. Well, here's what it says. It says, appearances deceive. Not may deceive, not can deceive. Appearances deceive. But appearances can be changed. Okay, good to note. Anybody got any appearances going on in their life right now that they would like to have changed? Okay, so just remember, this is an appearance and it can be changed. Okay, now reality is changeless. It is changeless. Okay, appearances deceive but can be changed, but reality is changeless. And that's why reality does not deceive at all, which means if you fail to see beyond appearances, guess what? You are deceived. Okay? Anything you're upset about is an appearance you are failing to see beyond. Why are you upset? Because there's an appearance here that I'm deceived by. I'm upset about it. I'm sitting here upset about it thinking it can't change. What would you be upset about if you knew it could be changed? You wouldn't be upset about it. You'd be like, wow, why am I projecting that on that? Right? So when you're upset about something, you are deceiving yourself about an appearance, thinking that it cannot change when it can. Form can be changed, reality cannot. Now, because everything you see, everything you see will change, and yet you thought it real before, and now you think it real again. And that's how reality is then reduced to form, which means capable of change. But did I mention before that reality is changeless? And it is reality's changelessness that makes reality real and keeps what's real separate from all appearances. Reality must transcend all form to be itself, which means reality cannot change. Okay, a very important concept here about, so when you're talking about anything you're upset about, does this thing change? Does this body change? Yes. Does this situation change? Yes. Okay. If it changes, if there's anything about this situation or you're upset that changes, that's your first clue that what you're seeing isn't real. Which is the same thing as saying that what's really going on you don't see. You aren't seeing the reality of the situation. You aren't seeing what's really going on. You're not seeing the reality, because what you're looking at is something that changes. Now, if you're looking at something that changes and you're upset about it, then you're upset about nothing. You're upset about something that isn't even real. And does it seem like that when you're upset about something? When you're upset about something that changes?
Heck no.
Heck no.
Doesn't seem real.
It seems 100% real, or else I wouldn't be upset about it. But I can shift my upset like that by going, it's an appearance that changes, which means it's not real, which means I'm upset about nothing, which means I don't even see what's really going on. And literally you're upset. You could go from upset one moment to not upset the next. Okay? And we're going to get to the point where when we're upset about something that changes and we remember the truth, we're going to be like, thank God that's not real. Thank God that's not real. Not angry about it, but thanking God that what we're seeing is not the truth. It is not real. So now it's a relief instead of I'm upset because I am deceived, by its reality. You're only upset when you think an illusion is real. And we're only upset by illusions. Okay? Only upset by illusions. So if you're upset, that means you're wrong. And that's the last thing that we're going to remember when we're upset. And it's definitely the last thing that we want to hear somebody tell us. Why are you all upset? Why are you all upset about an illusion? You must be deceived. You're upset with me? Oh, well, you must be.
Does that help you?
Yeah, you must be, deceived in what you're seeing. You must not be seeing reality.
Aren't you glad I came
Well,
along?
F you. Well, I'm just saying what A Course in Miracles said to you. You're like, yeah, this isn't the time to tell me that. But when you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll be like, thanks for the reminder. I'm really glad to be wrong right about now. Thank you. All right. Great. That was paragraph 1. Hi, Shahira. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Jean. Lovely to see you all. Paragraph 2. The miracle, or the right thought, is means to demonstrate that all appearances can change. Why? Because they are appearances, which means appearances cannot have the changelessness that reality entails. The miracle, or the right thought, attests release from appearances by showing that appearances can change. And that's exactly what we call a miracle. I was in this situation that seemed so scary and so frightening and so messed up. And then I remembered what I'm seeing isn't the reality of what's going on. And then, poof, what I was looking at changed like that. And what did I call it? I said, oh my God, that's a miracle. Right? That's what a miracle is. Now, your brother has a changelessness in them, which means a changelessness in them that is beyond appearance and deception both. Your brother's or sister's changelessness is hidden by changing views of them that you perceive as their reality. Okay, so, first of all, that's a radical concept. You're saying every single person has a changelessness in them. Are you saying everybody? I mean, I'm sorry, any exceptions in there? We want everyone, even if they seem to be as asleep as a doorknob, in our perception. Everyone has a changelessness in them that is beyond what we can see in them. This is what we forget when we're looking at them. We're forgetting this. And it says their changelessness is hidden by our changing views of them, or you could say our changing opinions of them that we see as their reality. You know, that what we see as their reality is just our changing opinions of them, you know. And notice how frequently our opinions of each other changes, especially the closer we are, how quickly our opinions, our view of them changes. Okay? And that is what's hiding the fact that there is a changelessness in them. Okay? Now, how do you have a miracle with somebody with whom you're having an interaction? Well, you're having a changing perspective on them, and you're thinking that's their reality, and you're having an unhappy perception of them. According to this, all it would take is you going, even though I cannot see it right now, there is a changelessness in them beyond what I am seeing in them right now. And that is a right thought, because that's a truth. What did it say? The right thought shows that appearances can change. So all you have to do is have one right thought, and all of a sudden, the appearances that you are seeing, your view of them changes. And you're like, whoa, they went from looking like an idiot to me to looking like my savior, my healer. Wow, oh my God, that's a miracle. And that's exactly what it is. A miracle shows you that the way you see it, the way you see them can change like that by you just remembering the reality of the matter, which is there is a changelessness in them, that they've never changed, I can't change, that nobody can change, not even them, that was created by love. Okay? Wow. Then it says, the happy dream about them, or the happy perception about them, takes the form of the appearance of their perfect health, their perfect freedom from all forms of lack, and also their safety from disaster of all kinds. Okay, and what is all that? That is the happy perception of them, or let's say the correct perception. Okay, when you're seeing them correctly, that's what you will be seeing. Okay, and when they are seeing themselves correctly, the happy dream, the happy perception about them takes the form of the appearance of their perfect health, their perfect freedom from all forms of lack, and safety from all disaster of all kinds. Okay, that's the happy dream about them. Okay? Whether they're having that happy dream themselves or where you're having that happy perception of them. Okay, now, then it says the miracle is the proof that they are not bound by loss or suffering in any form. Why? Because their loss or suffering in any form can so easily be changed. And the miracle, the right perception, demonstrates that their suffering and their loss in any form was never real, and that their loss and suffering in any form could not stem from their reality. Why? Because their reality is changeless, which means their reality is changeless, it has no effects that anything in heaven or on earth could ever alter. Woo-wee. Okay, so that's what a right thought, miracle, that's what a miracle does. That's what a miracle demonstrates. A miracle demonstrates that all the appearances that you're seeing in them, the suffering, the loss in any form, the unhappiness, the lack, the sickness, the miracle, the correct perception of them shows you that all their suffering is just an appearance. Isn't that deep? All their suffering is just, my suffering doesn't feel like just an appearance, but isn't that deep? That suffering is not real. Suffering is an appearance. It's not, that's what an appearance means. Right? If it's not if our suffering isn't real, if it isn't true, if it isn't in alignment with reality, my reality, their reality, then what is my suffering? It has to be an appearance or a perception. It's not true that, how they say about some people, they're a tortured soul. You ever heard that? Yeah, they're a tortured soul. No, the spirit, the true self in everybody is not tortured. The true self in everyone is changeless, it's perfectly healthy, it's perfectly happy, it's unbound, it's not suffering in any way, shape, or form. It's totally safe. Who they really are, their true self, is all that, and yours too. So if I see them as suffering and bound and unhappy and lacking, then I am just seeing an appearance and a projection. A projection of an appearance that I am deceived by in myself. Because if I wasn't deceived in my own self and I saw my changeless self correctly, then all I would see is their perfect spirit. When I looked, all I would see is perfect spirit, perfect spirit, perfect spirit, perfect, 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 perfect. It's all good. So if I was not deceived by the appearances of my own ego, I would only see their changeless reality, and I'd be ecstatic. So, wow, that's so deep. That is really a shocking thing to say about other people's suffering. Because it don't seem like an appearance. It seems like it's so deep. It's to the point where I go, they're a tortured soul. Okay, no. Their soul, their spirit is changeless and free from a limit, lack, and suffering of any kind. Now that is so good, because I'm one of those people who's very sensitive. I don't like to watch violent movies. I don't like to watch anything where anybody is suffering. Not animals, not children. I just don't like it because it hurts, And so that could be helpful for me when I'm looking at somebody suffering, to remember, well, who they really are is not suffering. There is a changeless reality in them, they can't suffer. There isn't this body. There isn't suffering. That's what I need, because as you might imagine, being the way sensitive like that, I experience a lot of psychic pain. You know, Greg will tell you, it doesn't matter what it is, if there's violence or something, I'm like, I just close my eyes, I don't watch, because it hurts. I feel psychic pain. It's a wonder I'm a psychotherapist, but because I deal with a lot of suffering, but I've learned from A Course in Miracles how to remember the truth in such a way that their suffering and mine is alleviated. Okay. So that's really helpful for me in remembering their changeless reality, remembering it, affirming it, choosing not to be deceived by by the suffering I'm seeing in them. And then what if I did that to myself? What if I wasn't deceived by my own suffering? And I was like, well, the real me is not suffering like this. The real me has everything. The real me is only loved and loving and lovable, and the real me has everything. What if I wasn't deceived by my own appearances of suffering? Wow. That is I've never quite seen it like that. They're saying that seeing suffering correctly demonstrates, not talks about it, demonstrates that the suffering was never real and that their suffering could not stem from their reality. Wow. Okay, so I love it. Pura Vida, this is from Steve Waltman. Pura Vida, my mighty companions, thanks for having me, enjoying from the jungle. Oh, is it warm where you're at, Steve? That's so wonderful. Well, Steve and everyone, I am not going to be deceived by the appearances of me suffering from almost sub-zero temperatures in Colorado. My changeless self is perfectly warm and comfortable all the time. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and then it says, but appearances are shown to be unreal because appearances change. Okay, this part of them that's suffering, is it something that's always changing? Like, is it different every time you talk to them? 1 week they're suffering with this, the next week they're suffering with this, next week they're suffering with something else. What does that mean about their suffering? It's always changing. Okay, the fact that my upset is changing from moment to moment, day to day, should be all I need to know that what I'm upset about isn't real. Okay, beautiful. Okay, great. Questions or comments? All right, beautiful. Now, then it says in paragraph 3, what is temptation but a wish to make suffering, what's not real, real? Now, temptation doesn't seem to be, or suffering doesn't seem to be the wish that no reality be so, yet suffering is an assertion that some forms of idols or some forms of suffering have a powerful appeal that makes those sufferings harder to resist than those you would not want to have reality. Okay? So I'm going to read that again, but I'm going to, instead of putting the word suffering in, I'm going to put problems. Okay? So problems are an assertion, or temptation is an assertion, that some forms of problems have a powerful appeal that makes those problems harder to resist than those problems you would not want to have reality. In other words, temptation then is nothing more than this: a prayer, a wish, that the truth, the miracle, touch not some problems, but the wish to keep some problems unreality obscure and give to those problems reality instead. So that's what temptation is. My temptation is this. I'm tempted to believe that some suffering is more real than other sufferings. Okay? The sufferings of people in Africa is more real than the sufferings of people in Denver. Or that some problems are harder to resist, which means some problems are more real than other problems. And I'm also tempted to desire that the truth not touch some problems. It's like, I'm selective in applying the truth to some problems as opposed to others. I'm selective, which means that I'm tempted to keep some problems. I have a desire for some problems, whereas there's other problems I really don't want. Okay? And that's what temptation is, and that's what we've got going on. And that's why A Course in Miracles says that even though the first principle in A Course in Miracles, the very first principle is miracles are all the same. One miracle is not bigger or harder than another. There's no order of difficulty in miracles. One miracle is not bigger or harder than another. They are all alike. That's number 1, chapter 1, section 1, sentence 1.
They're all followed.
Yes, exactly. Now, it says, but why is it then that some problems seem harder than another? If there's no order of difficulty in miracles, and you can have a miracle, a healing in any situation, in any problem, all of them all the same, then why is it that some problems seem harder to solve than others? Well, this sentence explains it. It's because some of them I want to have reality. So some problems I don't apply the truth to. Right? Some I do, some I don't. And the problems that I do not apply the truth to, those are the problems that seem harder and more difficult than the other ones.
And they really prove there are problems. The breath.
Yes. You say, and they do?
The big ones?
Yes.
They seem to prove the validity that there really are problems. It's not a perfect world.
Yes, exactly.
It gives validity to my belief system that there's problems.
Yes, exactly. And so I want some problems to stick around to so that I can be right about my suffering and how my suffering is justified. Wow, how I'm right about how I'm a victim and the world, life is hard, right?
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. Don't be a bliss ninny, right? So we say. Interesting. Okay, so let's just say it like this. What are the problems you got going on that you've been trying for years and years and years and years to solve, but you still got it? I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried this, I've tried that. Those are the problems where you're experiencing a temptation to believe, or a temptation that the truth not touch some problems. The patterns and the problems that you've had for so long that don't seem to go away, those are the problems that you are not willing to let the truth touch. Those are the problems that you don't apply the Course in Miracles to. You apply the Course in Miracles to some other things, and then they got solved, got better. But the problems that seem like these are big and these are harder and bigger than all the other problems, harder to solve, these are the ones I don't want to apply the truth to. You know, I forget to apply the course to those problems until somebody goes, oh, well, did you apply your workbook lesson to them? And I'm like, oh. And then when you do apply the truth to those problems, then what does it say? What does the miracle do? It demonstrates that appearances can change. Even appearances that to you seem like they've been going on a long time and seemed like they were very difficult. Okay, so whatever stubborn issues you've got going on, remember, these are the ones that you've been tempted not to apply the truth to. Okay, and that's our only temptation, to apply the truth to some problems but not to others. Okay, or maybe I apply the truth to my problems when they get bad enough, you know, but I don't apply the truth to when I hear about somebody starving in another country. You know, maybe I'm not applying the truth to those problems. I'm just like, well, you know, the starving in that country, that's just, well, there's nothing I can do about that, you know. And it remains in my perception a problem that cannot be solved. Oh, well, you know. And so, you know, whereas the Course in Miracles says there's no order of difficulty in miracles. So if there's a global war going on, you know, and to me it seems impossible, so I'm not doing anything about it. I'm trying to stay unconscious about it, because I don't think I can do anything about it, because it seems like it's bigger and harder than all the other problems, and so I don't do anything about it. But it just said the only ones that don't seem like a miracle can happen is the ones I'm not applying the truth to. So I'm realizing right now I need to start applying the truth to the whole Ukraine-Russia thing. You know, I'm just like, whatever, you know. But I need to start applying the truth to that. I need to start applying the truth to the planet itself, applying the truth to the planet, instead of being like, well, you know, that's beyond me, you know. Well, no, it's not. He said there's no order of difficulty in miracles. And my temptation is to have a prayer, a wish, that the truth not touch some problems. You know, we forget about it. We forget that when A Course in Miracles is talking about applying the truth to problems, it's not just talking about your suffering. Like it was in the first paragraph, it's talking about their suffering, the suffering of others. So that's a good reminder for me too. That was what I needed to hear, because I need to start applying the truth to the suffering of the planet, humanity, you know, and not being tempted to think that, well, that is a big problem, and I can't do anything. I'm just one person, and so I'm not going to apply the truth to that. You know, whereas the Course in Miracles all throughout is talking about, you know, sending to all the world, you know, like letting your forgiveness, your correct perception rest on all things, everyone, everywhere. It's reminding us to let the truth touch all their suffering as well as yours as well.
So the thought that's occurring to me right now is that that idea that miracles are first taken on faith.
Yes.
And that then we gain confidence in their efficacy.
Yeah, their power.
As we gain experience with them.
Yeah.
And so what I'm seeing right now is that even though there's no order of difficulty in miracles, part of my problem in extending this idea to something like the war in Ukraine is that I don't get any feedback from my
your
good
application.
my intent, my application of these ideas to that.
So you perceive, you don't get any payoff or confirmation that you applying the truth actually produced a miracle.
And
Right.
so what I'm trying to angle at here is this then a case where the suggestion really would be to just take it on faith that these so-called bigger problems can be addressed in the same way while continuing to practice it on the level of my own personal crap.
Yes.
That I have better experience in getting positive feedback and positive reinforcement on it.
Yes. And so the question is what? Just to the faith, doing it with faith.
Doing it with
Miracles are done first on faith. Exactly. The extension or the application of truth is first done on faith. Exactly. But somehow your extension of your application of truth, even to a problem that seems bigger and harder and out there, somehow will demonstrate that appearances, the suffering, can change. Somehow it will be demonstrated. Whether you hear about, okay, now they're going to start doing peace talks. Oh, wow, what a coincidence. I just started applying the truth to that, and then I hear rumors of peace talks, which haven't been happening. Something like that. So I believe that in some way, shape, or form, you would, because it says the miracle demonstrates that appearances can change. So
then it just comes back to
it
the
will
point
come back
about,
somehow to you.
And me continuing to pay attention to it,
Yes.
to be on the lookout
for the miracle,
for the demonstration.
For the demonstration, exactly.
Because it's an easy thing for me to wander off in different areas of concern.
Exactly.
But
No, that's a great question.
That's coming back to the truth, because I was thinking like similar things when we started reading this chapter of like, I was just thinking about, it's like, these are all great concepts, but it's really hard to like apply them and see them as reality.
Yes.
And it's just like simply talking about it reminded me, I'm like, oh yeah, like I feel the resonance in my body, in my mind, in my heart about the idea of we are pure, we are love-based beings, we are connected to God, and God's reality is changeless, and therefore and I don't mean to say this in this way, but it's like the trivial matter of war is simply like, oh, we can see that in the same way, give it love and watch it transform. It's a wild practice to really recognize that these are thoughts that we have, like thoughts create this whole world now. It's just weird to then watch the outside and be like, but how can we change that? It's like, well, we just change it with miracles.
Exactly. And a miracle, by definition, is transforms or isn't limited to and by the laws of space and time. By definition, that's what we call a miracle. It breaks all the so-called laws of space and time and distance and and orders of levels of difficulty, by definition, and so, and notice how it says it's our unwillingness to apply the truth to some problems because they seem too big and too beyond us. It calls it a temptation. It's saying that that's a temptation, like like the apple in the Garden of Eden got nothing on that level, on that kind of temptation. That's our temptation. Well, I just don't apply the truth to that. I don't pray for that. I don't pray for that. I don't pray for them, because it's just too big and too big for me. That's too difficult. I mean, what difference can I make? That's you being tempted to keep some problems.
And tempted to see myself as small.
And tempted
and
to see
powerless.
myself as small and powerless. And he does call the being willing to see ourselves as small and powerless as a temptation. It's a temptation. It makes sense that we would be tempted to see ourselves as weak and powerless, because that is what we learned, that we are weak and powerless, and only people who have all the money and power, only they have power,
right?
And then of course in Miracles is teaching us on every page that our mind is joined to the mind of creation and joined with every aspect of creation. It's like, what? Okay? And that's why there's no order of difficulty in miracles. That's why we can accomplish any miracle. That's why we, from our choice and our willingness to apply the truth, can change any appearances, even the appearances of a world war that's being fought by people who did not ask our opinion, who didn't even take a vote. You ever notice that? That now our governments just declare war and go to war without even so much as going to Congress or taking a vote? Oh my God. That seems like a big appearance. I mean, talk about that appearance. Wow. I sure hope there's no order of difficulty in miracles when it comes to that one, because that's insane. That means that that the servant has become the master. All right. So Peter says the miracle is only your total surrender to Holy Spirit that only can solve it out of time. Beautiful. Very nice. All right, well, I had no idea we were going to be going this big and this deep today, but it's exactly what I needed, because there's been a part of me that's just like, oh my God, I am so tempted to perceive that there are some miracles that are bigger and harder than others. I really am, because I'm like, I mean, I had a kid, a kid client today who was like, teenager. She was like, well, what do I have to live for? What should I, look what the adults are doing to the planet. Like how many years do we even have of resources left? And I was like, it's like really tempting to go, oh my God, that's too big of a miracle. That's too big of a miracle. That can't be done. That's an appearance that can't change. I was tempted to believe that I'm seeing an appearance relative to the planet and the insanity, the suicidal, homicidal nature of humanity as an appearance that can't change. It was really tempting. It was really tempting to feel heartbroken and to be like, what am I going to say to her? Like, oh, keep your chin up. Oh, it ain't that bad. Just go watch some TV. I was tempted. I am tempted to believe that the truth cannot touch some problems. But that's a temptation of mine. That's not me seeing the reality of the matter. It can't be that some warlike, insane appearance be more powerful than the truth. It can't be that, or else the insanity and the suffering would be reality, and God and truth would not. And so it's like, okay, you have to tell yourself the truth. And temptation is to see it all backwards. That suffering and warlike appearance is more powerful than reality. That is real and love is not. That is real and God is not. It's very tempting. But that's our work as teachers of God. That's our work as miracle workers, is to not allow ourselves to be tempted in that way. And to not let there be some appearances of suffering that we don't apply the truth to, that we believe is more powerful than reality. That we don't give any appearances of suffering reality. Okay? That's not reality. It's not real. That can change. All right. Then it says, and, okay, I'll just start back with temptation. Temptation then is nothing more than this: a prayer that the miracle or the truth touch not some appearances of suffering, but keep their unreality hidden and give to those appearances of suffering reality instead. That's temptation. And heaven gives no answer to that prayer, nor can a miracle of truth be given you to heal the suffering appearances that you don't like. Why? Because you have established limits. You're like, well, the truth can only do so much. Well, I'm only one person and my prayer can only do so much. I've established limits on reality. Okay? He says, and then what you ask is given you. So if you see like truth can only do so much, then guess what you're going to see? The truth can only do so much. But that's only an appearance. That's not reality. What you ask is given you, but not of God, who knows no limits. Here's all that has happened is you have limited yourself. You said, truth can't handle that. Truth isn't more powerful than that appearance of suffering or war. And so, okay, well, what you asked for is given you, but not of God. God who knows no limits. Oh, that's so good to hear. That's so needed to hear that, because I was so tempted to feel weak and powerless. I've been tempted to feel that way a lot lately relative to the big problems of the world, and then, have kids tell me that they don't feel like they, have a future, it's really tempting. So this is a total miracle for me today. All right. Beautiful. Any questions or comments before we go on to paragraph 4?
It's interesting. It says, heaven gives no answer to the prayer, nor can make a miracle be given you to heal the appearance that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we've been taught to pray. The appearances we don't like, we're always taught to pray to change it.
Yes, that's our prayers.
But
So real quick, then then what is that saying? Nor can a miracle be given you to heal appearances that you don't like.
Yeah.
I don't understand that actually.
Thank you, Greg.
I need some help with interpreting that as well.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, that's a great line, and I think that is how we pray. That is the way we're.
Yeah, we're like, I don't like this appearance.
Right.
Please change it.
Right.
Okay.
So
Okay, but go on, Greg.
well, the appearances are, what's an appearance? The way you see it. That's what an appearance is. And the way I'm seeing it, this is messed up. But I'm praying for the appearance to be changed rather than me seeing it correctly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There's a big difference.
Yes.
So what we need to really pray for is that miracle. So
Yes.
the changing and to correct our perception.
How
Yes.
can I see this
Differently.
war as possibly helpful? I mean, I'm willing to see. I can't see it that way, but show me how to see this war as helpful.
Or even the correct perception of it.
Yeah,
we don't even
that's what he's
believe
saying.
that there's a way to see it helpful.
Yeah.
We don't
Right.
even believe that much.
Right.
That truth is prevailing at all here.
Right.
Truth is dead. God's dead here. Love's dead here.
Yeah,
Right,
it's sure tempting to see it like that. It sure is tempting to see it like God is dead, truth is dead,
Right.
love is dead, and evil rules.
Right.
And sure, it's tempting to see it that way. So,
Does yours say it like that?
Does-
You see what I mean? Or it says you,
you have established limits.
right
Oh.
here, where you
Interesting.
do not.
Yeah.
Does yours do that?
No. Are you in the, you must be in the original.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Nope,
No,
we're in the
no,
blue
no, no,
book.
I'm in the
You're in the blue
blue
book?
book.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Oh.
The blue book?
Oh,
Yeah.
Lynette, that's because what you just showed me is the next paragraph.
Oh, I'm in a.
Yes, you just showed me paragraph 3. We have not started paragraph 3
Oh,
yet.
I thought.
No.
Oh, wait.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're in 3.
We're in 3. No,
Yeah.
we just finished 3.
Right.
Yeah,
just
right.
finished
Okay.
3.
But
Yeah, but yes, ours said that.
okay. It just said like you
Yes.
do not like. How do I like?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
It reminds me of a line, just to go back to this,
Mhm.
it reminds me of a line where it said, pray to ask to change the conditions
Mhm.
around.
What made the fear come about?
Yeah.
Pray for help in the conditions that brought the fear about. That was a
Fear isn't
line
real,
from last
yeah.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like we
Pray
can't
for help
pray
in the
for-
conditions that
yeah.
brought the fear about.
Exactly, because what I'm
Very
seeing-
good recall.
I'm seeing exactly that is that
Mhm.
along the lines of the parallel to what Greg is describing here is that we're asking Spirit, Jesus, to correct our fear for us,
Mm-hmm.
rather than correcting the conditions.
Right.
It's a parallel to that same idea.
And like Greg was saying, we typically pray, please God, change the appearances I don't like. Instead of, please give me the way to see this, where I see that love is stronger and love is prevailing and
Well,
only,
and love's all there is here.
yeah,
Right.
yes.
That's the hardest.
I mean,
thing
that's the
about it.
reality that he's saying, that's what reality is, and so, if only love is real and only that which doesn't change is real, then there is something going on right now that is only love, so despite what we see going on, it's still only true that only love is real and only endless life, and everyone has eternal life, and everyone has everything, and the changeless reality of everyone and everything is still true. That despite the war and the death and the disaster and the, just the catastrophe that this planet seems to be sometimes, is not the reality. It's like, huh? But that's what it's saying, that there is a reality going on, happening right now that is changeless, where there is no suffering, where nobody's suffering. There's no war, there's no suffering, there's no death, and we're like, well, I don't see that. And they're like, yeah, you don't see that because you're looking at the appearances that are changing, called suffering, and those appearances that you're looking at is hiding the changeless reality that's going on everywhere, not just here, but Russia, Ukraine, China, everywhere. And he's saying that we're just not seeing it because we're looking at something else, and we're like, okay.
Well, the most personal example I can come up with is of that first sentence that appearances deceive, is that I see a body right here.
Exactly.
And that's deceiving me from who I really am.
Absolutely, starting with your, right here. Yes, exactly. We're deceived with our own appearances, and so of course we're going to be deceived when we see the appearances of, World War and, all that. So yeah, you're right. But so we start, notice how it's like, remember this when you're looking at other people's suffering. Also remember it when you're looking at your own, your own limits that you put on the power of truth, And anything that I'm upset about is
a limit I've put on my own self. I'm like, well, truth can't handle this. Well, I gotta handle this myself. You know, some things you just gotta do yourself. You want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. You know, that's what's going on in my mind when I'm upset. Otherwise, I'd be like, hey, truth, what's the truth here? What's the changeless reality here? Oh, what do you have to say about this truth? And then truth would say what the truth is. I'd be like, oh, that's so beautiful. Wow, wonderful. Thank you. Right? So there's nothing that we have made up in all our profound madness that is any problem for spirit, for truth. Truth is not like, oh no, world war. Oh no, Putin. Oh no. Oh no, oh my God. To truth, every problem that we perceive is exactly the same, is nothing. You know, and so the problems we've got is the ones that we're not asking for truth's perception, we're making it up ourselves.
We don't need to ask because we're certain we understand what we're looking at.
Yes, exactly. Well, great questions and comments, really, you guys, truly, you know. Okay, beautiful, and you guys too. Here we are now on paragraph 4. Once again, we're going to say, reality is changeless. Now, miracles, all they do is just show you what you have interposed between reality and your awareness is unreal, which means does not interfere at all. That's all that miracles do. They go, you know what you put between reality and your awareness is just unreal. It doesn't interfere at all. Don't you see that? That's what a miracle does. It shows you that. You know, here's my awareness, here's reality. And miracle goes, now you've done put something in between your awareness and reality. Here's reality, here's your awareness, and you done put something in between there. That's the only reason you don't see reality. And that's what the miracle shows you. Just like that's what Course in Miracles is showing us right now. Okay? And what is a miracle? A right thought. So all these ideas in A Course in Miracles, they are ideas. They are ideas. They are ideas of truth. Now it says the cost of the belief that there must be some appearances beyond the hope of change is that the miracle cannot come forth from you consistently. All right. That's the cost of the belief that there must be some appearances or some problems beyond the hope of change. Anybody got any thoughts of problems right now that you notice you think are beyond the hope of change? You know, the ones you're upset about all the time? Okay. That's the cost. The cost of the belief that there must be some problems beyond the hope of change is that the miracle cannot come forth from you consistently. And why is it that the miracle can't come forth from you consistently now? Because you've asked that the miracle be withheld from power to heal all problems. Okay, that's why miracles don't come forth through me consistently. Because what? Because I am asking that the miracle be withheld from power to heal all problems. Okay? I'm saying there's some things even the truth can't handle. This problem big, too big for truth.
Because I'm not consistent, then my problems aren't consistently being healed.
Thank you. Because
And so
I'm not
some
consistent.
problems seem to always be there.
Yep.
They can go away.
Yep.
Because I'm not consistent in believing that there's no problems.
Yes. And I'm not consistent in applying the truth to those problems.
Right.
And so now it seems like, you know, I'm not consistent in working miracles.
Yeah, because I always have these consistent problems in my life because I consistently agree that there's problems.
Exactly.
It's planting the belief in problems is receiving more problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm not consistently applying these ideas to all my problems yet. And then I wonder why I'm not a more efficient miracle worker.
Well, it seems like I still have so many problems.
Exactly. All right. Then it says, there is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Now, does that mean just healing for you, or does that mean healing for them, or does that mean all healing? There is no miracle you cannot have when you desire healing. But there is no miracle that can be given you unless you want it. So, if you choose what you would heal, selective perception, then the one who gives all miracles has not been given freedom to bestow its gifts upon creation. So, what is it? If we are choosing what we would heal, I would like for this to be healed, but not that. I would like them to be healed, but not them. And I would like them to be healed, but not them. I would like me to be healed, but not you. I would like you to be healed, but not me. If I am choosing what I would heal, then the one who gives miracles, all miracles, hasn't been given the freedom to bestow its gifts upon all of creation. Here's what happens when we're tempted. We deny reality. That's what it means to be tempted. I'm going to deny that they deserve healing as much as I deserve healing. I'm going to deny that the miracle can heal all things, all appearances. And then when I am tempted to deny reality, then guess what happens? I become the willing slave of what I chose instead. Wow. When I am denying the reality that the miracle can handle everything, and the miracle is applied to everything, the miracle can solve everything, then I become the willing slave of what I chose instead. What did I choose instead? Some problems are real. Some problems are harder to solve, and some problems truth just can't handle. There's some things that even God can't solve. Oh, is that okay? Those things that you say that truth can't handle and God can't solve, guess what? Now you're going to be the willing slave of that. Oh. Why? Because you limited God. You said truth can't heal that. And whatever it is you said truth can't heal or truth can't handle, now you're going to be the willing slave of that. Wow. Well, there's definitely some things in my life that I have obviously become a willing slave of. Okay, and the things I've become a willing slave of are the problems that I don't apply the truth to. I don't apply. When it comes to those problems, I just respond to them like I always did. I just respond to those problems like a normal person would. I judge. I go unconscious. I distract. I look away. I blame. I feel guilty but don't do anything. Those problems. Those are the problems that I have become a willing slave to. The problems I don't apply the truth to.
He's not pulling any punches.
He is not pulling any punches tonight. He's not holding any punches. Wow. Yep. that's why I think that the author chose to come back in the form of a book.
Yeah.
Honestly, because in the form of a book, the author can speak the hardcore, pure truth and don't have to worry about somebody's going to crucify him again.
Right.
It's like, oh, you crucify me now.
He wouldn't have made it to the 21st century.
He would not, I'm telling you. If the author had come back in a body, he wouldn't have even made it even 3 years. You know? Yep, interesting. So what is it that you have become the willing slave of? What problem have you now given power over you because you wouldn't apply the truth to it? You wouldn't bring it to the truth. You just chose to respond to it like you always did as a, quote, normal person. All right. Here we go. Yes.
I just wanted to comment that I think my subconscious, where I'm not always aware of the thoughts that I'm having, is where I'm storing a lot of these things, temptations that I don't want to heal.
Temptations of things you don't want to heal. Yeah. So say the first sentence you said.
The problems that seem to keep coming up
Yes.
over and over again are either deep in the subconscious mind, such that it's a freaking blind side. I almost can't even turn my attention to it. Or they're old program patterns of thought that when they come to the surface, I'm not applying these principles to.
So you're saying your patterns are unconscious temptations to keep some problems. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. That's exactly what it's saying. That's exactly what it's saying. And what a miracle that now when those big problems come up, or when those old stubborn patterns reemerge, now we can look at them and go, this is my temptation to deny that that only love is real, that only that which is loving and changeless is real and has power. This is my temptation to believe that something that God didn't create has more power than what God did create. This is my temptation to believe that what love didn't create and what changes has more power than what love and God did create. This is my temptation. And to literally interpret that problem differently. It's a temptation. It's a temptation to deny reality. It's a temptation. This is my temptation coming up to deny reality. You know, and what's the reality? All power is of love. What is not loving has no power to do anything. All reality is that which does not change. And so what does change, all these suffering appearances, has no power to do anything. So this is my temptation to deny reality, and here's the reality. Let me say it. Okay? And that's, what will happen to those appearances we don't like when we interpret our problems like that, through that lens. This is my temptation to deny reality. I'm really tempted to deny reality, which means I'm really tempted right now to think that evil has more power than God and love. I'm really tempted right now. Got this, 14-year-old child in front of me, saying that she doesn't feel like there's any hope for the planet or herself, and I'm really tempted to deny reality right now. I'm really tempted to deny that all the appearances of evil and insanity, they're just appearances and they can change. That the reality of the matter is that, we're all eternal. Our real self is not suffering. real self cannot die. Our real self has everything. Okay, so now it's saying that when you remember that, when you recognize the temptation, say no to the temptation, choose to remember and affirm the truth, what did it say happens? It says appearances will change. Appearances will change. Things you thought could never change. And the effect of the miracle is that it demonstrates that appearances can change like that. That's what happens. Now, all I had to do was recognize the temptation and remember the truth. And then appearances changed. The miracle did that. Not me, the right thought did that. So all I got to do is choose the right thought, and then the right thought, the miracle, changes, shows you that the appearances can change from what? Suffering to happiness. And I didn't do anything except remember the truth, affirm the truth.
I could be wrong, but I don't think the appearance of what we're seeing necessarily changes. I believe what it might be saying is, if you judge wrongly, then you're you're requesting wrongly to be brought again. So it just keeps reharvesting whatever you keep planting. So if we plant rightly, finally we break the cycle, then appearances change. They stop
right.
presenting themselves as broken, dying,
right.
needing to be fixed.
Yes.
The appearances change and
Yes.
start presenting themselves as whole, complete,
Something
not needing to
beautiful.
be changed,
Yes.
only to be thankful for, gratitude. Maybe that's the change it's talking about.
Well, it does say that the miracle demonstrates that appearances can change. But you're right in that the appearances are coming from us. You know, to a large extent, the appearances are coming from us, you know. And so what we see will change, you know, and what they will see, what they see will change too. So, beautiful. All right. So, let's see. Okay, I'm just going to read a little bit more in chat and finish with paragraph 5, and then that'll be it for this session. Paragraph 5. Wonderful. Hi Marina. Peter says, this is the appearance like 100,000 other teachings in a so-called ACIM teachings that miss all the essence of getting out of this crap that seemingly is surrounding us, but only is me. And the only way out of all the crap is to surrender to the one that knows out of time. Solution only here and now. Beautiful. In a split second. Right on. Very nice. Okay. Here we go. Paragraph 5. Because reality is changeless, there is a miracle already there to heal all things that change and to offer them to you to see in happy form, devoid of fear. Beautiful. And I think that was very similar to what you just shared, Greg. Yeah. Because reality is changeless, there is a miracle already here to heal all things that change and to offer them to you to see in happy form, which means devoid of fear. What does that mean? It means this. It will be given you to look upon each other in this happy form, but not while you would have it otherwise in some respects. Because while you would have it otherwise in some respects means only that you would not have them healed and whole. The Christ in them, the changeless part of them is perfect. Okay. What did it call us? The changelessness in them? What was that in the beginning? The Christ in them is the changelessness in them. The Christ in them is perfect. Now, is it the perfection in them that you would look upon? Well, if it is the perfection in them that you would look upon, then here's how you do that. Let there be no sufferings about them that you would prefer to seeing their perfection, the perfection in them, the changelessness in them. And if you do that, then you will see the perfection in them, the changelessness in them. Why? Because you let their real self come to you. And when their real self, their perfect self, their changeless self has appeared to you, guess what? You will be certain that you are like them, their perfection. Because their perfect self, their changeless self, is the changeless in them and in you. All right. So now it's reminding us, okay, we talked about the changelessness in them. There is something within them that is changeless. There is something in them that is perfect. And when you want to see that, that part of them, their true self, will show up as you requested, and you'll be like, oh my God, that's my perfection being reflected back to me. Wow. So he's reminding us that there is a part of them that is not suffering. There is a part of them that is perfect. There is something within them that is changeless. The Course in Miracles calls it the Christ in them. Their real self. Their self as God created them. And you can either look upon their suffering and look upon their ego and mistake them for it and make it real even though it's not real, or there is an alternative to what you see in them. Any of them, any of them, anytime, anywhere, if you want to see their true self, their perfect self, their changeless self, the Christ in them, then all you have to do is call to it and acknowledge it within yourself. Don't have to do it out loud, but within your mind, it didn't even say anything about saying, it's a desire when that's all you want to see. When that's all you want to see, then their perfect, changeless self will stand forth and go, hey, I thought you'd never ask. And what it will show you is your perfection, your completeness, your power, your amazingness. Wow. And that's the alternative to looking upon their suffering and mistaking, that's the alternative to looking at appearances that change and mistaking them for that and mistaking that for their reality. Okay? You got that option and you got this option. And you always have these two options no matter what that situation is. You always got those. A miracle will always be there. A miracle will always be there, ready. A correct perception of them will always be there, ready to heal all appearances that change. If you want it, you can see it. Wow. Well, I guess that's some radical responsibility, eh? Are you trying to tell me I'm responsible for how I see them? Not how I see them, I am responsible for. I am 100% responsible for how I see them. Literally. It's not like, well, when they're acting crazy, I see them as insane idiots. And when they're sane and loving, I see them as sane and loving, No. We are 100% responsible for how we are seeing them. Their reality, their Christ self, their perfection is always their changeless reality in them. Always there to see. But do you want to see that? And I love it. When you want to see it, literally, what did it say? Their true self will come to you. It will come to you like, hey, I'm so glad that you called to me. Here I am. Aren't I beautiful? Aren't I amazing? Oh, I'm just like you. And that's a holy encounter. And that's a holy encounter that heals the world. You first. So, all right. Well, there's the good news. There's the good news. Like it or not. Like it or not. Okay, that's good news. All right. So, it's the good news and the bad news. You know, how you choose to see them is what part of them you call forth. That's the good news and the bad news. So, all right, guys. So we're going to stop here. And hi, Rebecca. Lovely to see you. She says, naturally, this was the perfect message for me today. Thanks so much, Anna. Peace and love, and stay warm. Wonderful to see your name and to feel your energy, Rebecca. Remember Rebecca who used to come here each week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely to see your name and to feel your love, sweetie. All right. Okay, great. So now let's do, all the announcements for mine and Greg's classes are in the body of this video. So check those out if you're interested in checking out our other classes. And then let's do a few minute integration meditation, shall we? Okay. I wonder if the music will work now. Let's see. It's so funny. Maybe I will turn my Bluetooth off and see if that works. Let's try that. Here we go. Any questions or comments before we go into our guided meditation? There we go.
I guess my comment is one of the important things that I learned tonight is that I'm also responsible for my blocking the miracles. And those blocks are what the Course also refers to as the barriers that I have erected against the awareness of love's presence.
So I'm the only one that's blocking a miracle here. Even when we're talking about the Ukraine-Russia war, or we're talking about starvation in another part of the planet, I'm the one blocking the miracle. I'm the one saying, well, this miracle is bigger than the truth. Beautiful. That's a really good takeaway. Thank you for saying that. Anything else that was an aha that was helpful? All right, here we go. So just close your eyes and take a breath. And just breathe and feel. How does it feel to have heard these ideas and to have heard them in a circle of mighty companions who are all joining to hear the truth and let their minds be wholly healed by truth together? How does that feel? Beautiful. All right. I want you to bring to your awareness some of what you now recognize are your temptations to deny reality. We're going to take a look at those places where we're tempted to not apply the truth to. Maybe because we feel like it's too big, or maybe because we feel like there's nothing we can do about it. Or those places that are, those patterns, those patterns, those problem patterns, that no matter what we seem to do about it, no matter how we try to change the appearance of those problem patterns, nothing seems to change. Now I want you to bring to your awareness one of those temptations, one of those problems, whether it be a seeming personal problem of yours or a big old problem, global problem that seems big but out there in the world. And I want you to now speak the truth that we heard in this section upon that problem. And I want you to tell yourself, this problem that I think is bigger and more powerful than the truth is my temptation to deny the reality of love. This problem is my temptation to deny the power of truth and love. Tell yourself, this problem is my temptation to be deceived by appearances that change. Take a breath. And now I want you to say to yourself, but behind this appearance, there is a changeless reality that doesn't change. I want you to tell yourself, beyond this changing appearance that I am tempted by, is this person's or humanity's changeless reality where they are perfect and they don't suffer and they don't die. The changeless reality of this person or these people is that who they really are doesn't suffer, isn't suffering, doesn't die, and is eternally at peace. Let us affirm the changeless reality of this situation or this person or people behind the appearances we've been looking at and being distressed by, upset over. Let us affirm and choose to allow our vision to go beyond the appearances that we have been looking at, that we have been limiting them to. Let us affirm their changeless reality, their perfection, their eternal nature. Their peace inheritance. Let our vision of them go beyond our appearances, the appearances we have been seeing in them. And now let us ask ourselves, do I want to see the changeless reality in them? Do I want to see their perfection? Do I want to see their true self that isn't suffering, that is only love, and that doesn't die? Do I want to see the changeless reality in them? And as we answer in the affirmative, as we say, yes, I do want to see the changeless reality in them, their perfection, their eternal and joyous nature. Now let us look upon them again and see their perfect, happy, eternal, radiant self step forward and greet us with gratitude. And let us recognize in their face the reflection of our own true self, our own Christed nature in all its beauty and radiance. Beautiful. And to that we say, Amen. All right. Open your eyes, take a breath. Woo. Wow. Well, on behalf of the planet that so needs our perception of its changeless reality, thank you. 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 I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys being here. Right on. Appreciate you guys so much. See you next time.